Every winter, the first storm seems to catch drivers by surprise and cause all sorts of accidents, right? So this year, as we wait for our first real snowfall in the valley, communities are planning ahead to help out. Idaho News 6 reporter Alex Grant has more on the additional precautions the city of Twin is taking to ensure clean streets for future snowstorms.
One of the primary changes made is the amount of land covered by snowplows for cleaning streets and dropping salt.
This year, we've expanded it quite a bit, and I think what I mean by that is we're spraying it, a substantial amount of it on the roadways prior to storms, and that's why it takes on that pinstriping effect on the roadways.
The city is covering nearly 640 miles of roadway, and since the city only has 6 plows, residential streets will only be salted, since the city will need to focus on where traffic is heaviest.
We do have higher priority streets, so roadways that have more traffic congestion, that provide access to emergency vehicles. Those would be the arterials such as Blue Lakes Boulevard and Washington.
Despite the limited number of plows, the city says residents should not take it on themselves to plow the streets.
We had individuals who were out trying to be helpful citizens, and in the process damaged their own equipment as well as some city street. So we asked them to leave that to our plows. We have the plows that are outfitted for city streets.
If there are dangerous road conditions during a storm, residents are encouraged to call the non-emergency dispatch phone number. In Twin Falls, I'm Alex Grant, Idaho News 6.
Coming up next to my Idaho News 6 weather forecast, we're going to take a look at is there a chance for more snow in the Magic Valley? We haven't had too much this year. We'll look at my complete forecast for the weekend. Coming up next.
Meteorologist Scott Dorval with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Well, after the wind was whipping and we had rain and mountain snow yesterday, we've settled down to a pretty decent day. A lot of sunshine out there in the Magic Valley today. Let's take a look at our Canyon Cam view as the sun is now set. And you know what? It's still not too bad out there. You see that clear sky. Look how calm the Snake River looks without many ripples across the way because there's just about no wind. 38 degrees right now. Not bad. Nice, turned out to be a really nice day. Get outside during the day today with sunshine, but the wind will come back during the day tomorrow. We talked about the snow. I tell you what, a lot of snow fell in the ski resorts. I want to show you the Wood River Valley. I mentioned last night that they were getting hit hard with snow, and it would be an amazing bluebird day today because the storm would clear Sun Valley. So watch this. I'm going to stop this time lapse at 11 o'clock this morning. Look at that. 6 to 8 inches of snow falling on top of Baldy today. And take a look at this. Look at this snow. Look at this line right here. All that fresh snow that these guys are skiing across. Beautiful day. There's the rest of your time-lapse view. Amazing. 6 to 8 inches of snow with Sun Valley. Had 8 inches reported on Pomerelle. We were waiting for the wind to settle down, and it did for an amazing, beautiful day at Pomerelle as well. Sun Valley forecast shows a chance of some snow showers coming back in on Friday, maybe even a Wednesday night too. Doesn't show up, that's the daytime forecast, but at night, I think a couple of inches of snow could fall as well. So we hit 40 in Twin Falls today, 42 in Burley, 41 in Malta today. And notice how skies are primarily clear across the Magic Valley. I'm focusing to show the further to the west, a lot of cloud cover. Just high clouds at first. Most of that rain and snow is going to go by to the north for a while, and so tomorrow I think we're going to have a pretty decent day. It'll be partly cloudy. In fact, the eastern Magic Valley will likely be mostly sunny. We still have that mild southwest flow, so temperatures will be above average. There's moisture offshore, but not a lot of it is going to come blasting in our direction. So partly cloudy for the east central mountains, and then tomorrow night, 1 to 2 inches of snow could fall in the Wood River Valley, something to keep an eye on. Partly cloudy for the northern Magic Valley, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. We've got a northwest breeze about 10 to 15. It might not be so bad. Temperatures 40 to 42 degrees for highs, and then that northeast wind, and then the southern Magic Valley and the higher terrain coming in more out of the south. About 42 for a high temperature in Twin Falls tomorrow. And again, clouds will increase late in the day, otherwise partly cloudy, and still a lot of sunshine hanging around in the Mini-Cassia region, Burley and Rupert around 41 degrees. So it'll look a little bluer than what we're seeing in this picture right here tomorrow for a time. It'll become mostly cloudy late in the day and in the evening, but I think we'll get some sunshine early on. And then some precipitation Wednesday night in the form of rain showers and snow showers, but it just clears right on out Thursday. We'll have more sunshine at 42. Snow showers on Friday aren't going to come in the morning, and because they're coming in the evening, I don't think we're going to have an issue on the roadways. So I don't watch that storm system closely. It could create some slick spots just off the valley floor. And over the weekend, I expect it to be dry. It dips down to 35 on Saturday. Notice the low temperatures going to the lower 20s early next week. But for the most part, we're still not really seeing any type of crazy winter weather here. Yet Palmerell, Magic Mountain, seeing a nice dousing of snow as that front came through and all that stormy weather last night. So enjoy the skiing, everybody. And in the valley, well, not too much in the way of snow this time, Roland.
No, I love this winter. All right, thanks, Scott. Coming up next on Idaho News 6, you may be wondering if the COVID vaccine is right for you, especially if you're pregnant or have a compromised immune system. We'll tell you what the experts have to say. The FDA considers the first 2 coronavirus vaccines to be safe and effective for typical healthy individuals. But what if you're pregnant, nursing, or immunocompromised or have allergies? Mandy Gaither has more on what medical experts advise in today's Your Health Matters.
2 coronavirus vaccines currently have the green light in the U.S. The first is Pfizer-BioNTech's vaccine, 2 shots given 21 days apart. This one is recommended for anyone 16 years and older. The second is Moderna's vaccine, again 2 shots, but this one is given 28 days apart and is recommended for those 18 and over. Research is still being done to determine whether these vaccines are safe for children and younger teens. If you're pregnant, you can choose to get the vaccine, but
you should know that these vaccines were not extensively studied in pregnant women, so there's limited safety data to look at for that group. On the other hand, COVID-19 itself poses a risk for pregnant women. The CDC says that some women who contract COVID-19 are at an increased risk of severe illness and might also be at an increased risk for having a preterm birth.
Both Pfizer and Moderna created mRNA vaccines, which aren't thought to be harmful for a nursing child, according to the CDC. For those who are immunocompromised, you may choose to get the vaccine, but these vaccines were not substantially studied for your underlying health condition.
So there's not enough data on how safe they are or how effective they are yet. On the other hand, getting infected with COVID-19 can be risky for people with compromised immune systems.
For those with allergic reactions,
the CDC says you shouldn't get the shot if you're allergic to the components in these vaccines, which you can review on the vaccine's product labels.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, here's a live look from our Terry's Heating and Air Canyon Cam. You notice at this time of night, it's a little bit lighter out there. We're going in the right direction. We'll have a last look at weather with Scott next. Starbucks announced a new winter menu, and it includes a pistachio latte and honey almond milk cold brew. The latte includes a sauce made with real pistachios and a salted brown buttery topping. It's available hot or iced and blended. On the treat side, it's introducing an earth cake pop and a red velvet loaf. Do you remember when they talked about some of the coloring that they used for some of their products that came from like insects? Was that the same drink maker? I think it was.
I do remember that, but I know it's not on their press release.
No, it's not on the press release, but there you go.
But we did see that. That's right. Although I got to admit, red velvet, that sounds pretty good to me. It's not good for my diet, though. All right, let's take a look at tomorrow. The breeze will pick up, sunshine in the morning, clouds late in the day, and temperatures above 40. Thanks for joining us.
Portions of Idaho News 6 are brought to you by Optum Idaho. On air, online, on mobile. This is Idaho News 6.
The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, alongside Governor Brad Little this afternoon, hosting the first of their new weekly COVID-19 vaccine briefings. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Karen Lair.
And I'm Don Nelson. The Pfizer vaccine, followed by the Moderna vaccine, arrived in Idaho and distributed just a few weeks ago. Now, Over 20,000 Idahoans have been vaccinated, with many more doses on the way. Idaho News 6 reporter Nicole Camarda joins us live tonight with more details from the COVID-19 vaccine meeting.
Yeah, Governor Little said during the meeting today that we're in the final stages, but it's going to be a challenge to get to where we need to be. Idaho so far has received over 83,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, and Idaho Department of Health and Welfare says they expect us to receive about 20,000 doses each week moving forward. Now, Idaho is receiving fewer doses than originally promised, and there's been no word about whether Idaho will get those doses that they're missing out on made up. For every dose that we do receive, though, Idaho will get a second dose held for them because this is a 2-dose vaccine, so there will be a second dose administered to those who got the first one. Governor Little and the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare said that it really comes down to how many people take the vaccine and how many people go and get their doses.
It's going to take a lot of effort, not by just the 240 providers we have, but by the public to sign up ahead of time, to be scheduled, to show up for their appointments on time, so that we are as efficient as possible with the delivery of this vaccine.
It's actually a modern science miracle, frankly, of how quickly and effectively and safe this vaccine has come together, and we're very thankful for that. And we are committed to roll the vaccine out in as safe and as quick a way as possible.
Idaho Department of Health and Welfare did say there was a 43% increase from week 1 of week 2 of vaccine doses, and about 33,000 doses are being allocated to long-term care facilities. Idaho Department of Health and Welfare also said that there will be a data dashboard for the vaccine coming out later this week that will have different demographics and numbers related to the vaccine. The COVID-19 Vaccine Advisory Committee will meet this week on Friday at noon to discuss more about the priority list and who will be next to receive the vaccine. Live in Boise, Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
According to the CDC, 1 in 4 young adults has struggled with suicidal thoughts in the last year, and that's why a new program called Imagine rolled out in Nampa at the beginning of the pandemic. Program leaders saw such a huge response, they ended up expanding it into Boise for the new year. The Imagine program focuses on teen mental health treatment. Program leaders call their programming a step down from inpatient care, using traditional counseling and therapy options, but the teens don't live there at the facility. They're hoping to be able to provide resources to teens all across the Treasure Valley.
We could hit Nampa and Boise, the 2 main hubs of population in this valley, essentially. Then we would, we felt like it would be providing a good community need.
The program also partners with other facilities in the community like food banks, schools, and inpatient programs in order to approach the teens' treatment by addressing the root causes. The facility is already open for patients, and they're also exploring telehealth options, but for now their main focus is on in-person programming with COVID-19 precautions. Well, change is scary, and sensory overloads are overwhelming for children and adults on the autism spectrum, so one can only imagine the stress felt when someone is on the spectrum is asked to wear a face mask during a pandemic, not aware of its importance. Well, Dr. Elena Harlan with St. Luke's Children's Center for Autism and Neurodevelopmental Disabilities says for parents and caregivers looking for help, the best way to encourage autistic children and adults to wear a mask is to make it exciting.
So it could be a material that maybe has their favorite cartoon character on it, or their favorite video game character, or something that they really love, like Pokemon or something like that.
Dr. Harlan also suggests picking a material that feels comfortable and let them use their senses to decide what feels right.
So if they like soft things, try to choose a material that's super soft. Try to choose a material that doesn't have a lot of weird smell to it, and let them smell and decide which one is best.
She also encourages parents and caregivers to model the behaviors at home, make it normal, and slowly make it a part of their daily routine.
We now have a better idea of how many coronavirus cases are traced back to Idaho's public schools. The Department of Health and Welfare tracks the numbers, and so far this school year, more than 4,800 cases involve Idaho students, teachers, and staff. The area of greatest spread comes from high schools. Here in the Treasure Valley, Mountain View High School tops the list for the most COVID cases from this past fall with 82.
As I did the math, I found out that really we were looking at least 4,800 cases, and it was a lot higher figure than I had thought it would be, and a lot higher figure than I had been reporting about back in December, because the cumulative figures are always being updated.
The Department of Health and Welfare does not release numbers for every school weekly, so 4,800 total cases, well, that's a conservative estimate. There is also no mandate for how or when school districts report COVID cases to the state. Still ahead on Idaho News 6, the 2021 legislative session is right around the corner. Coming up after the break, we take a look inside the State House at what some lawmakers want to accomplish with property tax overhauls.
We had a good deal of rain in the Treasure Valley last night, and we had a good deal of snow in the mountains. I'll show you what it looked like today in one of those mountain locations. Plus, is there snow for the Treasure Valley? I've got some of the forecast. I'll tell you when coming up.
This is Idaho News 6.
Property tax is one topic up for discussion heading into the legislative session starting next week. Democratic legislators are fighting for change.
The group says they want to, quote, restore fairness and balance to Idaho's property tax system. Home prices are rising rapidly throughout the state, and specifically here in the Treasure Valley. Democratic leaders discussed their proposed legislation this morning during a virtual press conference, saying more property tax load is shifting onto residents while other types of property owners are paying less. With multiple bills being brought to the table, their goal is to protect homeowners.
We must pass legislation to assure that everyone pays their fair share of property taxes and only their fair share. The shift of a disproportionate amount of property tax to homeowners must be reversed.
The legislation proposed by the 3 Democratic members includes restoring a balance of the taxes between commercial and residential property, a bill to catch up the property tax reduction program, and a bill to revise provisions for a tax exemption for new capital investments. As the session begins, we will have more on these proposed bills and the decisions about them next week.
Well, an update now on a story we've been following for you after 2 Idaho nonprofits hope to stop a cell tower from being built near Redfish Lake. The Idaho Board of Land Commissioners turned down their request. The board voted unanimously to reject appeals from the Idaho Conservation League and the Sawtooth Interpretive and Historical Association. Those organizations are opposed to that proposed lease that would allow a 195-foot AT&T cell tower to be built in the Sawtooth as part of the nationwide First Responders Network, FirstNet. Opponents feel that tower, which would be visible from Redfish Lake, would negatively impact the natural surroundings. We'll keep you updated as that application process continues.
Men's basketball team is off to a hot start. The Broncos are undefeated at 4-0 in conference play and have won the last 8 games. The Broncos could add even more to their offense, as Leon Rice told the media today that he expects Arizona transfer Devonair Dutrive to make his Boise State debut Wednesday night against Air Force. The Broncos also ranked 13th in the first NCAA evaluation tool rankings of the season, which is used to select and seed teams for the tournament. Coach Rice says their focus is more on getting better each game, as a lot can happen between now and then.
Got some ability, and we've been doing some good things, and we're bumping up, in moments where we're getting really good. But then, we have a lot of things we have to get better at.
Broncos back in action as they take on Air Force tomorrow at Extra Mile Arena. Tip-off 9 o'clock on Fox Sports 1.
Coming up next on my Idaho News 6 weather forecast. What a beautiful day it turned out to be today, not only for sitting around in the Treasure Valley with the blue skies and sunshine, but that was the same story up in the mountains after a nice heavy snowfall. I'll sort that all out and show you that and the forecast for the weekend coming up.
Meteorologist Scott Dorval with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Turned out to be a really amazing day today with beautiful blue skies, and with that light wind and sunshine, it makes all the difference. Makes for a really nice day. Even in January, you feel the warmth of that sun without that wind, and that was the case today. Got a few changes coming in during the day tomorrow. Let's take a look at a live view. What's going on outside right now? We'll go to the Village at Meridian, where they're still out ice skating right now. Kind of feel like it's winter time. It doesn't feel too much like it, although it's still chilly out there. It's kind of nice, 39 degrees. Can't really complain about that. These temperatures are not so bad. 39, wind is east at 7, and I don't think that breeze is going to slow down much at all as we go overnight tonight. I think we're going to be maybe even seeing a little bit of an increase. So when you wake up tomorrow, there's going to be more of a breeze around the region, and that breeze is going to make it feel chillier than it was today because we'll have increasing clouds and we'll have the breeze. So we have to kind of deal with both when we go through the day tomorrow. Kind of take a look at the fountain here and see the colors. All in all, this forecast of what we've been having so far for the winter, we've only had 6 inches of snow for the winter months. That is it. So 6 inches of snow this winter. Normally we get about 19 inches